It was supposed to be like any other Sunday in the lives of Mark Fraley and his golden retriever named Storm, waking up late, skipping breakfast, and just hopping to the brunch plate, followed by a routine walk to their favorite place, i.e., the Port Jefferson Harbor, New York. While the first half of their day was pretty much the same and ordinary as they would expect it to be, Storm, the golden retriever, would spot the unexpected on the bank of the harbor and would jump right in, and his discovery would make him an overnight internet sensation. As Storm began making his way back to the shore, it got clearer as to what the object Storm had been holding in his mouth was. Judging by the visuals, it didn't come across as a fish. At this point, Mark was hoping it wasn't a bad piece of trash like glass or metal or any sharp object, which would cause serious damage to Storm. It was just when Storm made it to the shore that the sight of what his dog had been holding left him stunned. It had only been seconds of filming when Mike realized what it was. Storm had been holding an animal. Storm's strange behavior now made sense to Mark as he came closer to the shore. The sight of what Storm had been holding was now clear as crystal. It was a baby deer that Storm had been strenuously dragging out of the water. Mark was amazed as he started cheering Storm's name on so as to encourage him in his pursuit of making it to the shore while his buddy dog, Sarah, barked out of excitement. Storm wasn't giving up though. He nudged the fawn softly with his nose, pawed at him, and licked him around the neck. Finally, Mark was able to detect a very faint shaking. The deer showed signs of life with a subtle movement and was still alive, but in shock. Storm stayed by the fawn's side while Mark ran back to his car to call for help. Mark immediately called a local group he used to volunteer for, Strong Animal Rescue League. Mark established his whereabouts and provided a brief description of what exactly had happened so as to help the rescuers to analyze the situation beforehand and prepare accordingly. Now he could only wait for the rescuers to arrive. The rescuers arrived just minutes after Mark called them. Equipped with nets and leashes, Frankie Floridia, along with his partner Erica Kutzing, came to their rescue. In the meantime, Storm's care had done enough to keep the baby deer alert. But when he caught the sight of a few men approaching him, he staggered on his feet and rushed back into the water. He was scared, perhaps. The fawn was so scared to the bones as he kept moving and thumping when Miss Kutzing carried him back in her van. He was drenched in water and gradually calmed down when Kutzing wiped him with a dry towel. By what they had examined, it was a 3-month-old white-tailed deer. While the baby deer was successfully rescued and was now out of danger, it would take him a couple more days to make it back to the woods. The deer was further handed over to the Save the Animals Rescue Foundation. It took him a couple of days to get back to stable condition. He was nursed with antibiotics and aided with a drinking formula. He had suffered from multiple injuries that included wounds on his head and a swollen eye, which had been shut due to the fall. It's not every day that people get to see a dog rescuing a deer. The story had the potential to attract the audiences, and the fact was well received and acknowledged by the media. It wasn't long after the video went viral, and a dozen of TV channels and local newspapers in New York contacted Mark and his dog Storm to hear the real tale of the brave character they had displayed while rescuing the baby deer. The duo went on to feature in a couple of morning shows, and they certainly loved the limelight they were getting. Who wouldn't? I would go bonkers if my dog did anything in the what Storm had done to save a fawn. Mark is no exception when it comes to praising his pet's heroic stunt. Mark is proud of Storm, and he never misses a chance to say it out loud. It was so touching, Mark said. It showed he really had a care and was worried about the fawn. Not only Mark, but we are also proud of Storm for what he did. If it wasn't for his efforts, the poor fawn's struggle would have gone unnoticed and he would have met his end. Everyone did their best on their part. Floridia and his buddy Erica Kutzing had to sprint a mile, more or less, on the beach to rescue the fawn. I don't think I could have done it without the help of my partner. There came a point when Floridia blew his knee out and collapsed onto the ground, and it was when his partner Erica rescued the deer to their van and drove to the local animal rehabilitation center where he's getting proper medical care. We wish the little baby deer a speedy recovery.